Is enough to get me to the boiling point.
Hey yo, 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 hey yo. Hey yo. Hey yo.
How old are you? You took your Xanax today? B.
Sauerkraut.
Learned about.
That's enough of that.
Oh, it goes on for another 35 seconds.
Well, you just add videos to this. No. I never seen them.
Good God.
I can't.
Yeah,
do
they're
that.
good. They're good. I'll vouch for it. I mean, the popularity of the polar bear, right? Hugely popular, the clip.
Yeah,
we're doing merch now. We got the polar bear. This is the test of the first merch for the Zaid Comics polar bear. Hand sewn, as you can see right here.
Yeah, people loving the polar bear.
Yeah. So pretty soon you'll be able to buy polar bear plushes on ZaidComics.com.
Yeah, see, I mean, the popularity of the Shell Bean has taken off.
Right.
We made merchandise. All proceeds go to Zaid Comics. And now we're going to, maybe capitalize on this. See, people want more polar bear.
More polar bear, I think. Mm-hmm. They, Icarus who? You can't fly too close to the sun. I don't think it's possible.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the show, everybody. We are once again here on Monday, as we are always. Welcome to the chat. If you guys are out there on social medias, tweet this out. We are streaming on YouTube and Rumble. So we got some Rumblers out there. What's up, everybody over on Rumble? Thank you for being here and spread the word. We're going to have some more people on later in the show. And this might be a shorter show than usual. We're probably not going to go over all the topics and such and Babe of the Week, since Babe of the Week is dead. No more Babe of the Week. We're going to
Sumo's fault.
Maybe skip that. Yeah, shout outs to Sumo. But what's up, everybody in the chat? We got Citizen Ronan. Amy is here. We got Jay Ryan as well, all the way up from the snowy 51st state. 51st?
What's up, Jay?
Is that what it's called? Yeah. Good to see you. Kamara is here. John Snowden, Omer Glitch. Thank you guys. And as you see the title, we're going to be talking about our good friend Tommy Patterson, who unfortunately passed this weekend. And if you guys see in the description, there is a GoFundMe. If you guys want to support his family who are going through a really rough time. Tommy is awesome. we've hung out with him a bunch off air. You know, he's been on this channel a bunch when we used to do the Sketchin' and Chill show, and he did that show was his idea. Like, he really wanted to start streaming, and he wanted to help other awesome up and coming creators and draw their characters. So that was like his contribution. He hit me up and wanted to do that, and he's like, I could, you know, draw these characters while we talk about their book. And we did that for a bunch of shows. So I have a bunch of that art that he posted on Twitter that we're going to look at. A bunch of stuff we worked on together. And we're just going to be talking about him for the show. And yeah, so it's, you know, a little celebratory show for Tommy, the kid, as he called himself. And we called him too.
Do you think he would have enjoyed the polar bear video?
I think so.
Nobody enjoys it. I don't think so.
He might have. He either would have enjoyed it or hated it. You know, one of the two. Yeah. Who's to say? We got Eddie in the chat. What's up, Eddie? And Tommy also streams too. I know Jay is in the chat. I know he was in Tommy's chats all the time, watching his early morning drawing streams and such. And he was doing that on and off for a few years. He did a lot of cool art, which I have some of those pieces to look at, and was planning on doing his own book for a while that he was going to fully paint. Remember, he was doing a lot of watercolor painting. He's doing like a space book on Mars that I think I have one shot that we could take a look at. Eddie, thanks for being here, Eddie. Let's see what people are saying. Shanny's in the chat as well. Pouring one out for the homie. That's right. Derek Clay, thank you for tuning in. Henry Bemis, as always. Streamed with Tommy a time or two as well. That's right. Yeah, he was hilarious. A really good guy and super encouraging too. Like, I would show him even my art, and he's like, "You got to do more art. Like, keep sending me stuff, and I'll help you draw and stuff." So he was an artist through and through, comic lover, and what did you say?
He said he was a cruel prankster.
Yeah, and delusional about my art skills, I think.
Clearly.
Wow. Yeah.
I think JB's coming on here in a little bit, and hopefully we can get Nick in here too. They're on their way to hang out. But thank you guys for being here. Let's see. Tommy loved the craft. Yeah, for sure. He's actually the first person. I mean, he sent me a digital copy of Framed Ink, which is that comic storytelling book by some guy. Do you know who did those books, Shelby? Framed Ink?
Stan Lee. Stan Lee does all of the books.
No, this was after Stan Lee, I think. After Stan Lee stopped drawing. But if you guys haven't, no. Check out Framed Ink. There's a few of them. Framed Ink's a great book. It's all about paneling and storytelling and camera angles for comic artists.
Tommy would have wanted you to pirate it on the internet.
I think he pirated it for me.
Yeah, you go on archive.org and find it.
Yeah, I still have the drive link if anybody wants it. We got Shanny. What's up, girl? $20 super chat. Bottoms up for Tommy. Please share the link to his GoFundMe where y'all can. Yes, yeah, the link is in the description. I got it pinned to the top of the chat. Please go over there, check it out. Nick put that together. He wrote this awesome description, and shout out to his boy on there. They knew each other forever. I mean, that's how I actually met Nick, was through Tommy.
Yeah, those two are inseparable. They always had a good chemistry on streams and always loved busting each other's balls, man.
Always holding hands.
Yeah.
Running through the streets like.
Yeah, I heard they used to sit on the same side of the booth,
like a couple. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, my only regret is I never got to hang out with him in person. Always, like, when we went down to Tampa, or like Austin, and for our like Texas trips, I was always messaging Tommy, being like, "You got to come out," and wanted to get him up at C2E2 this past year, and he's like, dude, it's the election year. I ain't going nowhere. And so
It's probably because you told him about the ghost. You told him about the ghost in the arcade.
The ghost in the arcade.
Yeah.
I heard more stories about ghosts in the arcade. So we'll
Really?
watch on.
See, that's why I'm never going there.
Yeah.
Never meeting me either.
Cross that off my list and visiting Chicago.
Yeah. And he says, not easy to focus on a book with over 150 pages, let alone multiple books. Yeah, he was a workhorse. You know, sat down, got through, man, a bunch of pages in the last 2 years. All that graveyard ship stuff. That's insane.
Yeah, man, I was just going through this earlier today. You know?
Yeah, man. That was so cool. I mean, that's the reason I know Tommy is because of that. And it's funny, originally that book was supposed to be drawn by Preston Acevedo. Shout out to the other Acevedo.
Yeah, my cousin.
Stuff fell through with him. And then Tommy jumped on board. And it was really cool working with him on that story. Like, we message back and forth all the time. He sent me the layouts, and I have a bunch of layouts that are pages that I want to show. He actually sent me some of his pages, which is so cool. I have some frames on my wall, and just an incredible process working with him. It was so awesome.
Yeah, of all the campaign stuff I've ever gotten back, I think that's the best supplemental book that I've got from like any campaign. So you guys did good.
It was so fun to put together. I'm so proud of that stuff. Can you drop the link to the framed ink PDF? I don't know if that's legal.
You can send it to him on Twitter. Not
yeah,
on
DM me, brother. I'll send you a promo code to it.
Go to Yandex.
Yeah, Tommy's art did totally kick ass.
Phil sends a link to his secret Discord.
Yeah, and Chimera just messaged me because he lost his voice or something, or he's court ordered not to talk on streams or something. But this, I totally forgot he did this. I don't think that Tommy posted this, but he did a I'm assuming, Chimera, is this from when we had you on stream? He did a Chimera's Carl Magnuson character with that cool sword from Tasty Mint Testament. It's not the full picture though.
Not a self-insert.
No, you think that's a Chimera self-insert?
No, that's what I'm saying. It's not.
Oh, okay.
Clearly not.
Like him. Yeah.
Yeah, this character looks like he's got Riz. You know.
Yeah.
Also doesn't have a dog, which is a plus.
No, he does have a dog. That's his whole thing. He's got like in Testament.
Maybe I'll think about the SOS guy.
No, yeah. See, Shanny says that's one tasty mint. Right.
There you go.
Let's check this out. I got a bunch of stuff. I got too many tabs open, and they're all of Tommy art. I think this was the what's this book called? Does anybody remember? Viking Wolf. It's the Viking Wolf double page spread piece. I think Tommy did for one of the Visions books, pinup book, the newest one that's out. And obviously Mark Bolton's characters totally went wild on this double page spread. Yeah, it's super crazy cool. Awesome pinup stuff. Viking Wolf was a pretty badass character.
Yeah, it was really a good book.
Yeah.
Big
crazy ancient stuff going on. Super cool. Yeah, and he was really good at doing these like big bodied Hulk characters as well.
Big bulking guys, right?
Yeah. Obviously, and that's interesting too, like Mark and him and John and probably Sean Aronson, all those guys met on the Liefeld message boards back in the day. And were constantly in contact and, being brought together by those for 90s.
Did Tommy ever get banned from the boards like everybody else?
I don't know. Was there a big ban hammer over there?
Yeah.
Just when you're out of line.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want to step out of line. Not with live film.
No.
Look at some other stuff here. Oh, I'll show that for later. A bunch of stuff. So yeah, he did a bunch of pieces for that show that we did. I think we had Billy on. This is his she that he did in like, an hour and a half.
That's a cool piece.
Yeah, a great base. And it was really cool to have Billy on for that too. And then this one I couldn't find on Twitter. I don't think he ever posted it, but shout out to our boy Fresher Luke, who was tweeting about it earlier as well. This is his Skull Knight piece that he did for Fresher Luke's book way back when he was on the show as well. And this was pretty dope. I always like the character's design. It's like this metal guy.
Yeah, I would hijack the hell out of that.
Yeah.
I mean, ink.
Oh, yeah. What's up, Camel? Got Camel in the chat. Good to see you. Just going through some of Tommy's awesome art. And even after we finished the Graveyard Shift book, we'd still hang out and text all the time. Like I said in my tweet, he literally got a text from him 2 weeks ago of a artist post from Twitter. So we're still always talking. And in fact, he was just telling me that he had gotten a part-time job and was using all of his like art time to focus on his own book, which he was always looking forward to doing. Like I said, this Space Mars book, and I think I have a tweet from it somewhere here. But let's bring on another hardliner. Our bro JJB. What's up, Mr. Ball?
Oh, just working away. A lot of the same old, same old. It's good to see everybody here for old Tom tonight.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, we were just showing off some of his art, talking to people in the chat. I think Nick's going to come on in a little bit as well to talk about that. If you guys are just tuning in, talking about our buddy Tommy Patterson, who passed this weekend, you guys, if you want to go and help out his family, the link to the GoFundMe is in the description and at the top of the chat. You guys can go over there, read all about him and his works. I mean, if you guys aren't familiar with his stuff, before his crowdfunded and indie stuff, he did the Farscape comics back in the day, and a bunch of work on the Game of Thrones books, comic books. So how like Mike Miller did a bunch of covers for those and a story. Tommy did like the mainline series, and I remember he was saying like working with George R.R. Martin back and forth on those comics. So he hit like is on like those top selling books for the time.
Yeah,
Game of Thrones stuff. Yeah, it's stuff.
Shelby, do you feel insulted by this because you're still alive?
Yeah. That's true.
They brought me back. I've died twice.
Yeah, he's a vampire. You didn't know that?
That's why my legs bleed from lactose.
Shelby's gonna outlive us all.
Yeah.
Speaking of the best artists, we got our boy Nicky P here.
Nick,
Hey,
What's up, boys?
What
How's
up?
it going, man?
how you doing?
Trying to figure out the StreamYard thing. What y'all up to?
Nothing. We're just talking about our boy Tommy here, showing off some art.
Morning.
Where fucking tissues at? Show some respect.
I got it right here.
Respect his name.
We're shilling these little polar bear stuffed animals.
No, shield the GoFundMe, you bums.
We did. We got the link is in the description. It's at the top of the chat. Yeah, and I was showing off a bunch of his art. I have like a bunch of tabs open and stuff. But I mean, you have known Tommy for much longer than us. In fact, I know you because of Tommy. Me working on Graveyard Shift with him, and I remember he, I guess, he sent me actually your script of Axe Wielded John to check out, but while you were working on it, and then just hang out in the back rooms and stuff.
Yeah, you never
while
read
they were
that
out.
script. I sent it to you. You're a climber, so I sent it to you, and you never read it. And then like you saw my CapCut stuff, and you were like, "What program is that?" All of a sudden, you wanted to write me. Oh, you worked at Marvel at one point. And then you were like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna call him and check on him."
That's never happened.
Yeah, no, that checks out. That sounds like Phil.
Sounds legit.
This calls for you. Yeah. Now Tommy was the man, dude. Super funny.
Yeah.
What made him different was his background. All of his points of reference, like all you guys are the same, you know. Honestly, this is how much Tommy meant to me. If you guys were all lined up except Joe Ball, but the rest of y'all were lined up, and it was like a serial killer. It was like you get to save one. You can save these 5, or you can save this one. I would say, dude, cut those motherfuckers' toes off. You know, stick an ice pick in their eye, except for my boy Tommy, dude. You will never. You guys are a dime a dozen. Same references, same memes. Tommy was his own meme. Tommy's background being kind of rednecky and hillbilly. His points of reference when he was making a joke were always odd, but you could kind of get them. That dry sense of humor, one of the funniest dudes ever. Definitely would put you on a firing squad and pick Tommy over y'all. So this is extra sad. Imagine if you were all dead, how sad that would be, you know?
Yeah. It's very violent.
That's how much Tommy means to me, man. He is awesome. Met him in a Skype group with a bunch of published artists. And me and him used to go at it hardcore, that whole Skype group for about 7 years. Marvel artists, Marvel inkers, bunch of dudes in it. We would just berate each other in the worst ways. Like Tommy, you know, he knows I'm a big guy. He's like, take your shirt off, Nick. Why are you scared? Take your shirt off. You don't. He's like, he says, now you won't do it because it looked like you've been whipped by lamp cords, stretch marks, you know, just brutal. And I would make fun of him, and we would just get so mean. And the whole thing in that group was you'd be so mean that everyone has a thing that bothers them, some insecurity. And we started running those guys off every day. They'd come out. Then we make fun of their wives. We'd just go too dark, too low. But at the end of the day, after 8 years, there was only 2 left. It was me and Tommy. Like, we couldn't quit each other, man. We would take our breaks and stuff. We piss each other off, but man, we'd always come back. I went and stayed with him. Whenever he was getting that Citizen Jack work, he had to learn clean line style. I went and brought him I drove up to Murray, Kentucky, where his family's at. Brought him all my clean line books, Milo Manara and Quietly and Mobius, and stayed with him for a week. He used to talk shit that he could ball. And I'm like, I used to play pickup ball all the time, you know? And so went up there and hooped him up, absolutely destroyed him. He had a pretty good jump shot, and he had a little post game that was nice too. Yeah, he was awesome. Awesome guy. There was a time when I ate a bunch of mushrooms and got stuck in a psych ward. And I remember no one knew because I told Tommy I was going to eat this whole fucking jar tonight. I did it, and it did not go well. So everyone thought I was just completely nuts. I am kind of nuts, but completely nuts. But he called my family, let him know what was going on. Like, my dad was all crying, thinking I had lost my mind, which I have lost my mind. But the best dude, literally the funniest guy I know. We would talk about being dads, talk about God, love conspiracy theories, pterodactyls in Russia. They're still there. You know that, guys, right?
Yeah.
Inflation, how the Fed works, manifestation. He had this great bit. I had this thing where, you know, I like the idea of Jesus Christ a lot. He's the man. I don't think Tommy would mind me saying that. Tommy did too. But ideas are everything, man. Ideas made the computer we're talking through. Just the idea that the designs on the walls, like you surround yourself with all this shit, all this pop culture shit. And you're like, I put that up. That's mine. But that shit is making you, dude. You're reading it. It's influencing you. And there's this like yin and yang going on. And me and Tommy would talk about that all the time. How ideas, kind of Plato's ideas kind of thing, will form you. And man, we just get these deep redneck country ass conversations day in, day out. Sometimes he's the only guy I could talk to about some of the weird stuff. He had this take where science fiction, all these science fictions writing in 1984 and all these different things and cell phones, it's the system running a beta test. Like, we think we're doing it all individually, but it's the system, if you step back, running the beta test to see what will happen. So kind of like futurism isn't real. It's like forming it. Kind of like John 1, the word is God and the word is with God. Like if I think I'm gonna go make a sandwich, that's just an idea. The word is just an idea manifest out of your mouth. You think you're going to be a comic book artist, a comic book writer. You think you're going to get married one day. You think you're a bum. You think you can maybe do it. All that stuff kind of forms, it forms individually and as a whole. So I do think we kind of write our own scripts, and we kind of came up with the theory that we're the players and programmers of reality. So, and I always kind of like that. So that was Tommy's idea. Tommy's funny, loving, insane, didn't give a shit, I know he joined Comicscape, and I know he liked it. It was fine. I also know he needed to make money, and other companies that a lot bigger name brands, a lot more money, weren't paying him. He's got to provide for his family. Man, I don't give a shit. He's gonna stay my friend. Like I love that guy. And people got to do what they got to do. Just a great dude. And my legs are gonna look a lot worse from now on because he would overdraw my kneecaps for me, overdraw my forearm muscles. He knew musculature really well. You wouldn't know by that particular Batman.
That's because he wanted to do the absolute.
But I'll say this: there's a lot of shots of Axel or John when that muscular's tight. It's because I take my stuff and send it to him, and he overdraws it, man. So he's the best dude, man. And I know privately we've been messaging just all the individual conversation he was having. Joe Ball had his milk thing. I slid my clip about calling him a stupid owl. We would always push it if we tried to live stream, and we'd always like butt heads because that's just what we did, man. Love that dude like a brother. Really, really sad to see him go. Kind of hit me in waves. Had a bunch of people calling me, a bunch of people from that old group calling me. And man, his family needs the help. From what I gather, I think it's okay to say he was in the hospital for a couple of days. Didn't make it out. Complications from heart medications. I know he was dealing with some of that. Not really my place to say. So kind of unexpected. Obviously a lot of us were talking to him just a few days ago.
Yeah.
His family's got medical bills, loss of income. He's got a daughter, Hannah, and his wife, Michelle. And I asked if it was okay if we could set up that GoFundMe. I mean, the guy was the best guy. The least I could do is set that up and throw a little cash there. And pump it. Come here with you mutants and fucking pump this thing, So, I mean, you guys have all talked to him. What's some of y'all favorite Tommy stories? I don't want to tell them all. So,
I mean, a lot of them I can't tell, but I think
those late night hangouts were super memorable. Let's just say,
late night hangouts. I mean, for me, seeing you, I mean, the last 2 years, just staring at my phone, reading your texts and his back and forth, yelling at each other through text message. I'm literally bawling my eyes out because of you guys, because it's so funny. That's just some of my favorite memories. I mean, the streams you guys would do early in the morning, just the chemistry you had. And I mean, personally for me, creating with him, he was someone that really motivated me and believed in the stuff that I was writing, and really let me know it, which I really appreciated that. And the work that we did together, I think it's some of both of our best work, and it was just a total blast working with him on that graveyard shift stuff. And I mean, we had him do some pinups for us as well and some concept art, but I mean, like, look at this stuff that he did, that he pulled out, and this is just his pencils. And I mean, I think like you don't even need inks on this. This is insane. All the chain work that he did in this story too, all hand drawn.
He's getting better too. He almost has this. I will speak out of turn, but I was telling him he was getting that Dale Keown touch in those pencils. Right, there was like something in it that was getting more fluid and nice. With his newer stuff that I really dug. We used to beat the shit out of each other verbally all the time in the worst way, ways possible.
Yeah, I remember that.
He's a great guy, though.
Mm-hmm.
I did enjoy the mutual friend of ours, Tommy's ways to insult him when it came to their arm wrestling contest that never went down. And just some of the most brutal things Tommy would say to this guy and just run him into the ground, no holds bar, just all the time. When it came to the arm wrestling, like he would just let him know how bad he was going to bury him and tear his arm right off and all kinds of shit. Like Tommy truly was the best. I know I'm not saying a whole lot yet, but it's you guys understand it. It's still kind of a fresh wound, and yesterday was a lot worse. Today it's a little easier to think about, but I don't know, man. It sucks. It's awful. I mean, we're mostly Christian here, I'd say, if not all Christian, and it is good to know he's somewhere where he isn't going to have blood pressure problems no more, and he ain't going to turn color. Like, it makes me sad he's not going to turn into a tomato anymore. But it's good to know he doesn't have to worry about it anymore, and the guy's most likely in heaven just chilling with some of the coolest dudes ever and telling them some of the raddest earth stories he has to offer as well. So, and probably giving them a hard time and pissing people off, but there's our tomato.
There he is.
Retard eyes. Oh, I love him.
Look, the perfect haircut doesn't exist. Wait a second. It does.
Tell you what, he had a nice hairline. Like my hair is pretty good, but back here I got that little spot cooking back there. It ain't long for this world, but he had that nice hairline. I hated him for his hairline. That's for damn sure.
He always looked fresh from the barber, like he just got his hair cut today, no matter when I saw him.
Yeah.
And he should show that clip about that Burrow clip. Pull that Burrow clip up.
You want me to show that?
Yeah. It's Tommy, dude. You guys should know him, man. He's funny, dude.
Oh yeah. No.
Tommy really knows ball, okay? And people need to know that Tommy knows football.
Let me look
that
for that
clip
one.
where I called him an owl too. I'm gonna retext it to you, Phil.
Can you send it to me on Twitter?
People need to know the guy. That's the thing, is like you had to hang out with him a little bit to get, to really get him, and he was fucking funny.
Yeah, easily one of the funniest dudes I've ever known, just because he was original in his own line of thought.
Shout outs to Shanny for the 10 gifted memberships. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. Bunch of people getting them in the chat. But here's that clip. This is from the comic book Fireball, which is an old Tommy Nick P venture here. Let's see if you guys could hear this.
I want to see his penis. I heard it's huge.
Mahomes?
No. Burrow's got a big old hog, I heard. I want to see it. I want to know what's causing all of this. It's just me. No big deal. I'm not going to focus on it, but I would like to see it.
I love his deadpan delivery of that. It's just
this is random. I was watching while at work, and I'm like, I gotta clip this. This is good. I only brought it up because Nick told me to. Okay.
No, it's good. I might be dying too, boys. I thought I had a runny nose. I think my nose is bleeding. That's how sad I am. I'm crying with tears of blood right here, dude.
Check yourself out, brother.
Yeah, man. Take care of yourself.
Yeah. What else we got here? He did the like I said, a bunch of
play that clip I sent you when he got self-conscious about his wide eyes. Play that.
You send it to me.
I sent it to you via text.
All right, I gotta download it and send it to my computer.
It's short, but it's sweet. He was always in it for the joke too. He was cool with, being entertaining and just having a good time.
Yeah, he was great. Like some people can't really flow when you're kind of like roasting and stuff. He was great at just kind of like playing along with it and stuff. And like I was just watching back the episode. You guys had me on talking about Raid, and we were just like cracking jokes from the start. It was like I just remember like laughing my ass off and just like, having a great time, man. So yeah.
Raid Shadow Legends.
He was an equal opportunity talker too. That's the thing too. Like he attacked. I won't say who, but he attacked somebody. I mean, it was public, but he attacked the Marvel editor in chief, bro.
Yeah.
He attacked it big time. And he attacked a couple of big artists. We had talked to him in our Skype group a couple of times, but Tommy didn't really know him. One of them was dealing with a weight issue, and Tommy just blew him up on Twitter right after. There was a time where we got Mark. We got in a fight with Mark Maron. You know the comedian Mark Maron?
Yes.
Yeah, me and Tommy like called the thunder down on him. Or he called the thunder down on us. Basically, not Betty Davis, the chick from the Golden Girls, what's her name?
Betty White.
Betty White.
Yeah, everyone loved her, right? Everyone loved her. And we're like, it'd be funny. Let's attack her because she was showing up in like commercials and stuff. And we had kind of deduced that the only reason why she was showing up, it's like ironic that she's alive at this point, right? So for no reason, we just go back and forth all day. Like, only reason, for some reason, it's pure meanness. Like coming up with Betty White jokes, we would tag Mark Maron and talk about how boring the intro of his podcast used to be, because it'd be like 45 minutes of therapy before he got to the guest.
Yeah.
Mark Maron came down. I wasn't there anymore on the computer, but later in that day, Mark Maron saw him. He started attacking Tommy. He called him Tommy the comic cunt. He started blasting Tommy. Then I jumped in. It was a mess, dude.
Well, when I first met him, he had told me that he had like gotten rid of Twitter for like a year. He didn't have one because his Twitter was too extreme or something. So he didn't have it for a while, and then he got it back, and then I think he dipped it again, and then finally brought it back. Like he was on and off there a bunch.
Kelly Clarkson's husband was getting this shine, or one of these celebrity chicks. Kelly Clarkson, one of these, I guess at the time she was big. She was like Taylor Swift at the time, for that specific time, early Twitter. And she had tweeted out her husband had sent her like 1,000 roses up to whatever audition she was at to make her feel good. And Tommy wrote her and said, and the guy's name was like Caleb or something. Tommy's like, man, that motherfucker's spending all your money. Like, dude, the fucking fan base for Kelly Clarkson or whichever fucking pop star it was, they're like, Caleb's a good man. And Tommy was just fighting them all day long. He was blasting everyone that showed up. They like knew the real relationship. And Tommy was just fucking nunchucking them across the face all day long.
Here's this guy. This is your clip, Nick.
Oh, it's blurry, but play it. Where's the audio at?
Where is this audio?
It's better without the audio. He looks very
looking around.
You didn't tell me it takes it terribly pixel.
It looks like he's trapped inside of a television.
I don't know why I can't hear anything. I'll have to send it somewhere else.
Does it work when you play it from your phone or no?
Let me see.
He's paying by the pixel.
No.
Yeah, those early Twitter days were nuts, dude. Like, it was just there. It was like, we couldn't figure it out. It was like, wait, it's a public text chain? We couldn't figure it out. So we're like, let's just do what we do privately, publicly. And man, it was not good. It was not good.
That's great. Yeah.
Let me see here. Send it somewhere else. Did you guys ever go to cons together?
No, I tried to get him to come out to a few cons. I drove through and met him. I was dating a chick in South Carolina. I went and picked my shit up. I lived with her for like a year. So I got a new truck when I got home back to Texas, and I was going to move to Austin. And I went and drove cross country, loaded my truck up with all that shit. On the way back, hit Tommy, stayed for like a week. And then we got together that other time too when I drove up all the clean line stuff. So we only met in person twice, 4 or 5 days at a time, I think. And then we hooped a little bit, played ball. The second time I was fatter and it was pretty even, but the first time I demolished him. I only remember the first time, but the second time was good.
Yeah, he was always trying to push to the forefront. Remember that? And he always had these ideas of these great jokes he was going to do on stream. Remember that pencil one, Nick?
Fucking pencil joke he talked about for months. He was going to slowly pull out a pencil. He was going to act like he was going to flash his dong, but it was going to be a big pencil. I'm like, dude, just be you. Don't make a stupid joke. I used to stupid that joke was. He was so excited for it, and he never did it. Dude, I've been watching some clips of him, and dude, I'm like sad because he was so funny.
Yeah.
I was so, for no good reason, mean to him, and him to me too, to be fair. But
yeah,
so it goes with when your love language is ball busting, you know.
Yeah. All right. Hopefully this audio works. Let's see here. This is some of the ball busting here.
You probably
doesn't cross-eyed?
Yeah. Wide-eyed.
Oh, definitely wide.
Now go cross-eyed now though, just to give the viewers yeah. When I hit you with the coins and you look like that, like a fucking retarded owl.
He got the stream right there. You can say the R word. Apparently back then they started getting, cancel culture was getting hot, so couldn't say the R word. So he cut that. That's why we could never stream together, because we had to like put a muzzle over us. You know what I mean? So
yeah. No, that's how it is. This was awesome. Tommy introduced me to Akira the Don, who does that Meaning Wave music, this awesome track, super motivational stuff. And I feel like he mentioned to me that he did some artwork for him, but I had never seen it before. So shout outs to Akira the Don. Says Godspeed, Tommy F. Patterson. Thank you for all the glorious art you made for us. We will treasure it forever. See you on the other side, you beautiful man. And he posted a bunch of art, and I guess he did like some of this art's on merch as well.
That's cool. I like
which is
great.
Really cool.
yeah, Kira is awesome. Everyone should check out Meaning Wave. What he does is he listens to podcasts or popular interviews, and he puts it to music. So he'll cut it, loop it, have a good hook, and it kind of gets the information ingrained. Plus, it's catchy ass music. So a lot of other artists started copying him after that. He used to rap, kind of like a British rapper. He knows Grant Morrison because him and Grant were together on some panels. And then Akira hit Tommy up to do some covers, album covers. And then I got to do one with Theo Vaughn too with Akira. Akira's a great guy. I know him and Tommy always talk privately.
Yeah.
About a lot of fun stuff. Some of the same stuff me and Tommy kicked around, big idea stuff, metaphysics, manifestation, Christ, all that stuff. So yeah, Tommy did some album cover work for him. So
yeah, if you guys watch our Friday show, the new intro song is Jocko reading the If poem by Akira the Don. We put that in there. It's a banger. So this was
that one's about not wasting all your money on pitch and toss.
Yeah, that one. That's the one.
Story.
We got Dark Gift. What's up, man? J. Ryan says saying retard will never go out of style.
Yeah.
I hear it's coming back. Emily's here. What's up, Emily? Good to see you. If you guys are just coming in here, we're talking about our boy Tommy Patterson, amazing artist, awesome friend. We just lost him this weekend. You guys could check out his GoFundMe, which is in the description. It's at the top of the chat. Nick, you put that together. You wrote this awesome long piece out for that as well. But everybody, you guys should go check that out, please.
Yeah, man, he's the sentiment in that piece that I think was not the generic, this is a GoFundMe. Is that, man, God, all of us, other than of course Bill and Brandon, like God lets these people come into your lives. Tommy was different and fun. I got a couple friends like that in my life. They're not family, they're not brothers, but I would do anything for those guys if they needed it. And I'm sure you guys have that too in your lives. And Tommy was one of those top 3 guys for me, and a little bit older than me. I forget, he's like 5 years older or so. And he's awesome, man. Would reach out to him when I was in a jam, when I needed advice. And you can do that with your dad or your mom, but then they're kind of looking at you side-eyed. Tommy had really no judgment other than, get your shit together. Stop.
Yeah. And it like that was one of the best things about him too. If he thought you were going down the wrong path, he would let you know. He wouldn't just like candy coat everything just because you're your friends. He would tell you how it is. If you were overstepping or going down the wrong path or something. And I really appreciated that about him too. This was a piece he did on the show for Beckoned, little monkey guy. Did that?
Oh, I thought that was that British pop star that they made the movie about.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Robbie Williams, right?
This Tommy did it first, okay?
Oh,
it's pretty badass pieces. Yeah, and those are still on the channel too, so we're gonna keep those up. We would do those show streams.
You should make a playlist for it, man. Definitely.
Yeah.
Have a place where people can just watch the old episodes and get a good laugh. And see some great art too. Yeah.
Phil, he loved working with you too, Phil. He always said he loved the script that he drew for you. So
yeah, that was awesome. And I appreciated that. And, he let me know that, and it was super encouraging on us keeping at it, keep writing stuff. And I know we wanted to work on some stuff together down the line. I was saying earlier, the last time we talked about comics and him working on comics, he said that he was getting a part-time job so he could focus on his own creator-owned stuff. Remember, he wanted to do that Mars book. He wanted to watercolor paint it as well. So it was going to be a big, long. Actually, here's a tweet about it. It's early concept watercolor test for Root Hog or Die, and this was some of the stuff he wanted to do. Yeah, bubble helmet space stuff.
I always like his watercolor work. I feel like it softens all of his line art in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he had a notebook where he would practice watercolors on his own. He did it a couple times on stream, maybe more than a couple, and they were really nice. They actually did a watercolor axe builder John for me too, in that little sketchbook.
Yeah, and this is I think, Shelby, is this hard case from
Malibu? I think that's hard case. No, the shoulder pads aren't big enough.
That's right. That's Brahm, another kick-ass watercolor piece we got there.
Pretty close.
Yeah, a little similar.
It's basically the same character.
What was his? It's surprising he wanted to do that Martian book thing because he's such a 90s guy. Do you have any insight on that project, Nick?
There are two projects. There's one that was essentially reanimated dead soldiers, not unlike Universal Soldier. He wouldn't tell me any ideas and I do have this problem where I'll it can be this, and I just run it through him all day, and he's like, you're making it your own. So he was keeping it quiet. I want to talk to his wife Michelle and see what he relayed. A dream project now would be to get those notes and make it for them and give her the IP. If I was blessed with the money to do that and the opportunity.
Well, I remember some of his.
It'd be my last screw you, I did take it over. I wouldn't want to do that, but it would be in a way. But yeah,
I'm sure some of the people in the chat watched those streams because he was kind of designing those characters on stream as well. Pretty recently, I'd say probably 3 months ago, he was streaming about those undead soldiers reanimated.
I'm gonna go listen to those, and I'll jot down notes. And I always have a couple side projects I'm kicking, but I instantly had that idea, and that's when I talked to his wife, she expressed, Michelle, that she's really devastated that he didn't get to make his creator-owned book because he was so excited about it.
Yeah.
So that makes me think I better step up and make that book happen. But I really need to get the notes so I don't shit all over his ideas. So we'll see what once she's dealing with a lot right now. So
yeah,
once she's settled, I'll hit her back up and I'll go back and watch his streams and see if I can get any inkling of what was rattling around. He specifically said he wasn't going to tell me shit though. So.
Yeah, I remember those streams. And then that was actually the first time I had heard about that. He wanted to do that team book. And but before that, working with him, I always saw some of that watercolored Mars stuff he wanted to do, which is really unique. He wanted that to be one of his creator-owned stuff.
Whose character is that? It's a great design.
This is the Black Terror. When Von Klaus did his Terror in the Trenches book, we had him on, and Tommy did a little sketch of him for that. Black Terror is that old comic character from like the 30s.
Yeah.
Here's Perfect 10. It's another one by Dave Brink. Had him on. This was this like Caesar type guy from Michael Odin's book. Yeah, and this is this a Kula? I saw this.
Yeah, maybe sure.
Good guy from the Ace.
Yeah,
I was going through and
I don't think I've seen that. Yeah. No.
Say it in your Vin Diesel voice, Phil.
The Round Mound a Pound. Yeah, it's a street shark right there now.
Yeah.
I was going through his Twitter and was actually surprised at how many shows we did together. Like Reaper Destroyer was on there.
Yeah.
This was.
I think that your cover inspired him to draw that one, Phil.
The one the Reaper Destroyer I drew.
Yeah, the variant cover that you penciled.
This is Shadow Punk. This is super crazy. Captain Battle.
What was this? When you're done with this, well, that's a great shot. I want to see his Twitter feed, like what he was retweeting and stuff at the time. You know, like what he's been in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. This was one of my favorite tweets. I don't remember what he was replying to, but one of my favorites. Says I'm a triplet. I recently sent him a picture of Simon Bisley, and he's like, "Oh shit, we got the same teeth." That's what he told me. I was scrolling through my texts with him earlier. One of my favorites that blew my mind was this. I think this was a commission because there was a few months ago he was taking commissions, and Ball loved this. I know he loves this. This Berserk piece is insane.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know if I guess I can share this. I think it's really sweet. There was a donor that dropped $1,000 on his GoFundMe.
Yeah.
I wrote him to thank you. I try to write everyone behind on today's, but yesterday I caught up and got to learn about him. And it turned out he was so impressed with that piece.
Yeah.
Such that Tommy put so much work into it that he wanted to help out Michelle. So that was really nice of the guy.
It is. Yeah. That's great. And yeah, this was amazing. Like,
that cartoon Berserk space is great.
What's that, Joe?
Yeah, I said that's one of my favorite picks he did. He actually hit me up a few, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks before he was about to start on it when he knew he had already said yes to do the calling. And he was like, I don't know anything about Berserk. Like, what's important? I was like, here's a list of characters. Here's a list of events that would be considered peak. And you just take a look at it and decide what you want to do. And he was smart, even though he hadn't read the book. He literally picked the most over-the-top epic moment in all of Berserk to do, and he did it justice. And I even told him, I got the text somewhere that this is better than what the assistant team for Miura did on the book when they took over when he passed. And I was just like, it's so impressive, dude. I'm like, you could have easily walked right onto Berserk and not skipped a beat with it. And obviously he knows the realistic nature of that workload because it's manga. But it's just the dude just kept getting better. It was like every time he drew something, it was better than the last. And he was an amazing artist. He was probably one of my favorite artists come out of this whole scene that I had met. So good dude. I love him. I miss him already.
Yeah, this was some layout stuff he did for the prom pinup for the CG Vacation book. This was the original idea. It was nixed though, but this then turned into the final here. It's a kick-ass spread. Crazy octopus, killer octopus. Yeah, his balance of detail and where to let stuff breathe is awesome.
His art was always clear. Like even if
Mhm.
it was in pencils, like you could tell exactly what was going on in every inch of it. Really good balance.
Yeah. Let me pull up his Twitter here. Yeah. It's Tommy. Let's see. What's he retweeting here? Some art? Some Thor's Day art. Some memes.
But he loved heavy metal music. He would message me heavy metal music all the time.
Yeah. This is some Berserk too. Retweeting some Berserk.
It's pretty sick.
Mike McMahon art, shout outs. Yeah, Paul and I were talking about earlier, like they go way back from the live message boards and stuff.
Yeah, that's the thing too. I learned. I mean, he had always talked about it. You know, his dog that passed away about a year ago was Handsome Rob after Rob Liefeld. He's a big Rob Liefeld fan back in the day.
Yeah.
He always talks about that. And some of those guys from those message boards still around, and some of them wrote me, sent their condolences, which was really nice.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Some of his graveyard ship stuff, which is insane detail as well. Like the amount of characters he had to put on pages in this series.
I used to call him. He's like, all these characters, dude, was killing him.
Yeah. Yeah, his spreads were so cool though. Like there's one in that's similar to this in our Brahm story that is just
we're kind of like dropping the lead. He was like a multiple New York Times bestseller. He was the artist on Game of Thrones while the book was coming out, and they were ahead of the HBO show. So he was like drawing a lot of that stuff without having any reference. He was just reading the scripts from George R.R. Martin. So the dude worked with George R.R. Martin, dude. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's insane that he did Farscape stuff as well. But yeah, the Game of Thrones stuff, I know that was huge for him. He said earlier in one of his tweets is he's making a separate account for political tweets. He would just have like random tweets like this with no context, and he just let it fly. Sometimes we'd be like, "What's Tommy talking about?"
Yeah, let it cook.
Move into the forefront. Those were some good ones.
I like when he would do stuff like take like a picture of Caitlin Clark and be like, she's the future of women's basketball just to soothe me. He didn't care about no women's basketball. He was just putting these goofy, obscure women's basketball tweets out. It was like, you're only doing this to be nice to me. I know what's happening here.
That. All right, let's read this one. Imagine being a loser sitting and waiting for the Superman trailer to drop. You're drinking your 5th Monster Energy and your skin is glowing red.
From the nights, and finally you have new content to hate since you've never made anything of consequence in your life when you watch. Oh God,
the Joe Ball. That's awesome.
Akira responded to that one too. It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, him and Akira were boys.
That's so cool.
They would talk about like conspiracy, but it's not theory, it's conspiracy fact. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'll tell you what, like he got wild with it. Like he had fun with the conspiracy stuff, but man, was he right about a lot of. I knew him long enough to see a lot of that shit come true. You know?
Yeah.
So.
Well, he saw the humor in it, even if he knew it was real or it was a serious topic. Like he was capable of discussing it and making you laugh the whole time too. You really couldn't tell how serious he even took something at times.
Yeah, and this amazing art riddled with his page. Like total artist, always promoting stuff and tweeting out stuff that he liked, other creators.
Yeah, man. He was a fan of comics. He was really proud of it. Man, it's gonna suck. It's a lot of jokes we're gonna miss out on, you know.
Mm-hmm.
There's old Akira.
Yeah. Yeah, this guy's dope. Wow, this stuff's so awesome. Aeon Flux.
That looks like one of those that you guys would have in your intro.
Yeah.
Pay $5 and you get that one when you put something in her tooth.
Yeah, it's a little secret note. No, Aeon Flux was crazy.
Yeah.
Look at that. Oh, and here's some. I actually pulled these. He was doing I think this is a fan commission. Nick Gear commissioned him. Looks like he's got Absolute Batman, Tin Soldier, and some other characters.
Hard case.
He called himself the Kid a lot. The baby face kid and the Kid. He did it in that tweet. He said, "From the Kid." As with any from the Kid, I give you options.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, he was a dirty old man, by the way. He was no child.
Is that a line decker piece up there? Up one more.
Oh, this one? Yes.
Yeah. Dude, his drapery, if anyone ever wants to learn drapery, the way like all those are shapes. They're like line decker highlights, like he digs into the form. It's interesting because a lot of times in comics, we're especially clean line, like let me find like right here, like this will pinch a joint, but you actually don't draw the line. You draw that negative shadow, like that little divot right there.
Yeah.
Line Decker's a master of that. Me and him would always talk about Line Decker because if you look, all that drapery has weight because he isn't pinching the form by drawing a line. There is no line on drapery, right? It's just folds, and he is always divoting in with those shadows. You can learn a lot about that. We would always freak out about Line Decker. Way better than Rockwell, by the way. Rockwell just photos. There's like cartooning in Line Decker with the aesthetic finish of Rockwell. And I believe Line Decker came first.
I like that Who's Watching song by Rockwell. I don't think it was that bad. Oh my God, you guys suck.
Somebody's watching me.
Thank you. J-Bot says, it was rad seeing his art pop up on my feed. You just assume some of these guys would be around forever making cool stuff. Makes you think how much we take things for granted. Definitely. Yeah. I thought it was a fine joke, Noah. It sounded better in my head.
He doesn't know who Rockwell is.
Yeah, you're like 10.
The Michael Jackson joint.
Yeah.
Noah only listens to Oasis.
Let's see, I got some more.
I thought I only listened to K-pop.
Gross. Or some of his, I think these were
Glory is a nearly perfect album. Come on.
These were some cover layouts that he did. He did like 12 different layouts for our Brahms story covers. And none of them got picked for the cover.
A little excessive.
Which was unfortunate.
Been there.
Yep. Both of those are dope.
Yeah. I have it. I think I didn't find it in my email, but he's sent like a bunch more. But yeah, these are both kick-ass. I showed those pieces. That one. This was an insane double-page spread. I know we both were proud about because it's got all the characters, Black Flag characters, Silhouette, Cyberfrog, Johnny Phantasm, all the Black Flag guys actually. So I mean, you could say I'm a Black Flag writer, I guess technically, but dope. And I think he actually did a couple passes on that because some of the characters were changed. And then this, he was pretty excited about getting able to draw Pit for the pinup book, and that was super cool.
Yeah, I got to ink that one.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and then
Yeah.
ink spots colored it. I'm pretty sure he did.
Yeah,
He
I think
was.
so.
How did you handle those? How did you handle those nipples, Shelby? Little lines under them. How'd you get the shadow? Are you perked out? Barely touched them. Drew the triangle. How'd you handle the shade?
I was looking at. I made them divots like line decker. I just leaned into the shadow. No, I actually, I gifted him this cover, this pinup too, because I was like, if I did a pit piece myself, I'd want the piece. So
You sent him the inks?
yeah, I sent him the original.
That's dope. He was super excited about this. He, I don't know if I have the.
Well, I had to add the logo of that band on the shorts, so I think it was there's a.
Yeah, let me pull that up.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I have the colored version here somewhere. He did King's X. He wanted to put a King's X reference, which I mean I had never heard of King's X, but let me see. It was a band. It was a band that was referenced in one of the old Pit issues on like Timmy's Lunchbox. So here's the colored one. You can see Shelby's nipples here.
Yeah.
Little divots.
I'm glad they didn't get knocked out. Keep them lines black so you can see them poking out.
There's Timmy.
That's what I got a couple of our guys that spot a lot of blacks and do a lot of fades. I'm like, man, you do all that. I'm like clean line style, And he's like, dude, you got to make your shit color proof, like spot blacks. They can't fuck up spot blacks,
Yeah, I think this is the best thing Ink Spot's ever colored, to be honest.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. I know he was a big Pit fan too, so had him on the colors.
Yeah, the skin tones on Pit are super fun.
Yeah. Super cool. Yeah, he did a couple pieces for that, and then the design for a bunch of stuff for Lost Pages 3. Did the wastoid design and some other concepts for bad villain characters. It was awesome working with him. He was going to do the whole Lost Pages book, but he just couldn't because he was full-time on graveyard shift. He was going to try to do it part-time, but said he couldn't. So we went with Ricardo, but he was someone I really wanted to work with again because it was such a blast working with him. It's just a total creative.
His lines were really clean. Like you said, I think they could have just scanned them and went straight to color. But yeah, he hit me up about inking him on something.
That's right. I remember that.
I've been too busy. I've been too busy trying to get other stuff done. But yeah, if I was open, I probably would have taken it. It would have been like an easy gig. He's got a really fun style. It's very similar to mine, but different just enough to be,
Yeah. Mike McVance says King's X is dope. I never heard of him. But yeah, he was a music guy for sure. Yeah, I don't I think that's all the art that I had to pull up here.
Hey, thanks for popping in, Dark Grift. Sweet dreams, brother.
See you, Dark Grift. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, and if you guys still are just new to this channel or new to the show, go check out the GoFundMe that Nick put together for Tommy's family. It's crazy sudden. Like we're in a text chain and Joe found the tweet that Jay put out, and he's like, "What is this?" We were all in shock about it. Like couldn't fathom that it happened, and he hit up Jay and got the confirmation on stuff, and yeah, it's wild.
He was a good dude. It was it broke 5,000 today, which is really nice.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I looked up like generic costs for funeral, and then he's got the medical bills, and then they got to deal with his loss of income too. So I put 10 on there. I don't know. I'll have to transfer it or get her to be the beneficiary. She sent me her email to do all that, but I'm gonna hopefully get to that 10, and then I can hook it all up for her. So
yeah,
I felt like just to do something, and I didn't want to do it without asking, so I reached out, and she told me a little bit about what was going on, and she said it could really help. So it would help Tommy's family a lot. So if you got it in your heart, throw them some shekels. It will go a long way.
Definitely.
Yeah, it'll mean a lot to everybody too. Like we're all super shocked, and I don't even know how much the reality is 100% set in yet. But yeah, anything y'all can do to help his family out and to help them through this would be greatly appreciated. And I think, I obviously speak for everybody when I say that. It's been almost everyone's core concern behind the scenes the last 2 days. So just really want to get his family the proper help. So, how shocked we are. Imagine how they're feeling. It's got to be like top million. So, yeah, anything y'all can do would be spectacular, even if it's just sharing it.
I don't think I'm speaking out of turn here, but Michelle said there isn't a day since they've been together that she didn't imagine she'd be with him or wake up next to him. So, yeah, it sucks, dude.
Yeah.
And now she's dealing with that. And the last thing I would want for them is to have to deal with all these bills coming in right now, So I think she needs the space and time to grieve. And it's, as guys, we always want to fix stuff. So the least I could do was set it up and, try to pimp it. And it means a lot that you guys would have me on and pimp it for him. And, nothing feels better than giving. So, like my pastor says, open your hearts. And if you're not going to open your hearts, you feel like you can't, then open them wallets. That's what he tells us before he passes around the collection, which is a great joke. So, but yeah, it's sad, man. We're going to miss a lot of good jokes and jokes you wouldn't get anywhere else, man.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a joke. I think he did it with Jay, but I think Jay went to a stand-up night back in the day, and Tommy tagged along, and Tommy got pulled up there, and he had a joke. And it was another guy we were talking to, but Tommy kind of delivered it dry. And the joke was, his opener was something along the lines of, isn't it funny when you go outside after it rain and it smells like worms, And he said, like, it was like this really dry, awkward thing. The other guy says, oh, if you would have delivered as a black comedian, you could have been like, isn't it funny we go out there when we go outside after it rains and it smells like them worms? So they spent like 3 days working on this fucking joke as Hispanic comedians and black comedians and different deliveries. I think the black guy got the best reply. But he said he did a good enough job where at the end of the show, the guy who ran the bar that was hosting the open mic night invited him back, but he never went back.
Yeah. He's definitely one of a kind. And all of his stories growing up, the stories that he's told you and you've told us in front of him. And
yeah, I mean, he came from a redneck background. Like some people in his family, the generation, like how far he came, we would talk about that a lot. Because some of his family in backwoods Kentucky, they couldn't read or write and stuff. You know what I mean? And he had come from that background, but used his art to kind of escape that and make a name for himself in the art world. And it's pretty cool, man. Some of the stories are insane. His childhood stories and his relatives and people he ran into. And speaking of Jay Dyer, Jay Dyer is one of his good buddies. One of those, he does, I don't know if y'all know him, but he's been on like the Alex.
I know Jay. Yeah.
Yeah. I knew of Jay, and before he blew up, I'd see him in the background at Tommy's house on those early calls. They would always talk about fun conspiracy stuff. Man, I love conspiracy shit, and they were all into that. But yeah, man, his family could use the help, and I know that all you guys cared about him deeply. I know he made y'all all laugh, and it means the world that you would dedicate a show to help out his wife and kid right now. So it's very cool. Very cool to the listeners as well. The sad thing is we can't talk about 99% of the real, because he was real, dude. And you just can't say it. And it's also like not our place to say, like he would say stuff to make us laugh for the sake of making us laugh. He would be the butt of a joke, if it got a laugh. But he could give it just as well as he took it. That's for damn sure. But some of his personal family stuff, Not my place to say, but some of the wildest, craziest, funniest stories you've ever heard. There was this one where he like hit his pants coming home from school one day. That's pretty good. He was like hiding out in the bushes to try to get home, but it was like running down his leg. And he had the idea because he had to like sprint from the woods to his house. I forget what he was doing. Something happened where his stomach was gurgling. And he was on his bike. So he ditched the bike, dives behind the trees, and he gets the idea like, I've already shit my pants. Like he just said like he needed to lose his clothes. So he stripped naked and he sprinted to his fucking house and he hit the door, ran to the bathroom, and his brother saw him, his older brother. And I'm not using the hard D, I'm using it with a T, but his brother, and I say it this way to this day, his brother turned and said, God damn. That's the story of him shitting his pants, but he tells a lot better. Yeah, man.
That's what I'm part of it. He says, my dad goes, it smells like fucking shit in here. Like just screams it out loud while hillbilly. Like, yeah, it probably does. Probably does.
Yeah, it was a real one. He after we were done working on that Brown book, he sent me a bunch of 4 pages, and this is one of them. It's of that double page spread, and you can see the silhouette. My characters up there, and I had them hanging on the wall side by side so they connect, and super amazing. Like never been gifted stuff like this before, and just always going to cherish this. And I even bought more of those books. Like I hit up Eric Weathers, who lettered them, because I just love working on that story, and it meant so much to me. And just bought a bunch more from anyone that had those, that had extra copies. And
Mike asked what happened, and what Jay said was complications. He had some. He went to ICU for something. I can only assume it was, as Jay said, it was heart medicine or something, a reaction to it, and then he never made it out of ICU. So he did have like some blood pressure issues that he told me about. So yeah, that's it. Never came out of the ICU. So.
Yeah. Well, we have all of his YouTube channel, his Twitter, all the streams that we've done with him over here. Those will always be there for you guys to check out. And definitely go over Tommy the Comic Guy on Twitter. You see all of his awesome arts. I think some of those commissions that he was doing with some of the best stuff, you know, the X-Force piece and that Berserk stuff. And you guys could go check those out. And thank you guys for being here. Definitely spread the word on this GoFundMe. Halfway there to get to the goal. And if you guys are on Facebook, Twitter, share it around and post some of his artwork with it as well. Because
is that refresh it? Did we get anything? Any people? Come on.
I think this is Shani from the chat. There's Shani. Shout out
awesome.
Shani.
$50. That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, thank
you guys so much.
Well, that's cool. We've got somebody else too. That's great. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Yeah, and if you guys can't, then spread it around. That really helps. You know, he's worked on a bunch of stuff, and really, especially the last 5 years with his YouTube stuff has really made a lot of people laugh. And hope you guys find in your hearts to help out the family.
Yeah, I'll be pimping it on Twitter and resharing it once every couple of days. With spam you sporadically, and then I know Joe was pumping it, and Phil, you were pumping it, and everybody's retweeting it. So it means a lot, guys. And sorry for your loss. And he was a good dude, you know, really good guy. Gonna miss him the rest of my days.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just from him, I've formed this whole crazy friend group that I would not have probably crossed paths with you, Nick, and a bunch of other people without Tommy. So yeah, thank you guys for being here. Nick, thanks for coming on and sharing all that stuff. And please, share that around. Thanks for hanging out with us. And remembering and celebrating Tommy, the kid, Patterson, our boy, looking down on us. We're gonna probably just end the stream here. Guys, go find another stream. Tell them we sent you and spread the word about all this stuff. And we'll see you later on in the week.
Yep. Thanks, everybody. Phil, I appreciate you. All you guys, I appreciate you. I know y'all cared about Tommy, cared about y'all. And very cool to have y'all around to talk about him privately and on here too. It means a lot, you know. So,
yeah.
And to the chat and the people that have donated already or just reshared it, thank you as well. It'll go a long way. Appreciate it.
All right. See you, everybody. Catch you later.
Yep.
Later, gang.
I want you to know it's over.
Well. Bye.